How's it going, guys? Jackson here at the Toaster Bros, and today we're going to be bringing you guys this, a computer inside of an ammo crate. Hope you guys enjoy. So yes, we're bringing back the custom mini ITX builds that I used to do all the time, and this is going to be the first one that I've done in quite a while. This one's going to be inside of an ammo crate, which you can actually purchase at Harbor Freight, which is kind of a funny rhyme there. But it's a full metal ammo crate. There's no padding or anything in the inside. It is waterproof, but in our case it's not going to be waterproof because we need some way to dissipate the heat, so we're going to have to do some holes and whatnot. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start listing off the items for the build. GeForce GTX 750 Ti. So this is actually a mini ITX one, or low profile one, as some people might know. It actually fits right in your hand, and you're going to see it in just a few minutes, but it's really awesome how small it is. These are 120mm, very floppy dust covers. Now, I don't know if all the fans are going to be 120mm or how many I'm going to use yet. I don't even know what kind of fans I'm going to use yet, so I might cut some of these, I might drill them onto the thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. We weren't too worried about RAM in this build since it is a little bit lower end, so we just have some old Corsair DDR3 1333 4GB, just one stick of that. We have a 240GB OCZ SSD. Now, it's not actually the same one that's in this box. It's actually OCZ before it was Toshiba. It's just normal OCZ, and it's like their it's actually a little bit better than this one, but it's still the same size and everything. Next, we have this Solid Gear 3 20-watt mini ITX power supply. These things are supposed to be super small but really efficient, and I've read really good reviews about them, so we're going to see just how good this works. And for the processor slash APU, we're going to be using the 5370, which is an AM1 processor. And they barely use any watts. I think max is like 25 watts, and at idle they barely use any, so obviously the power supply is going to be quite enough to be able to power all this stuff. And then for the motherboard, trying something a little bit new here. This is actually by ECS, which I have read good things about them. I had honestly never heard of them until doing this build. But I will admit, they actually do have what looks to be some really good build quality. As you can see, it has two DDR3 DIMMs. I think it can take up to like 16 gigs or 32. I want to say it's 16 though. You can see we have VGA, we have HDMI, we also have these two, I think VGA in, and then we have USB 3.0, which is really awesome for a really cheap board like this. I don't think I paid more than 25 bucks. We have actually 4 USB 2.0 ports, all of your audio jacks, and a mouse slash keyboard. We also of course have our one PCI line that we're going to need for this 750 Ti. So first I'm going to kind of get a basic idea of where I want everything to go. It's typically what I do with my custom builds. So as you can see, this is just about a perfect fit. It has a slight, like just enough room there to where this lid can still close if we want it to, and we're going to have to cut out a spot for the I/O. So what I'm going to do as far as the motherboard goes, because of course we cannot have the back of the board touching this bare metal because we can short things out, so we need to install the risers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark each one of these holes when it's against the wall here once I get my stuff on the board, so I can kind of figure out if it's going to work or not. And then I'm going to mount risers on the actual case. Okay, so as you can see, I have the motherboard mounted, and I'll show you guys what that looks like around back here. So it really doesn't look too bad at all. It looks pretty uniform. I need to get this rest of the sticky stuff off. More than likely the other side will do the same thing, so I'll probably end up using Goo Gone or something like that. Okay guys, so I got the power supply mounted. As you can see, I just went ahead and got the two holes up top. There is one down at the bottom that I can also do. But what I'm actually going to do next is go ahead and work on getting the actual hole started. I'm probably going to use a Dremel to do this, and I'll see how that works. Alright guys, so power supply now has a spot for it. As you can see, using the Dremel is definitely pretty messy. I tried to file down the edges as much as I could where they're not sharp anymore or anything, but it was really hard to actually be able to keep all the paint on as far as slipping off of the Dremel. So next time I do it, what I'll probably try and do is use masking tape, maybe double layer it around the area I know I'm going to be doing, and hopefully that'll keep it to where if I slip off or something like that, it won't tear up the paint like that. Okay, so now I got the spot where I'm going to put my fan already drilled in. As you can see, it's going to be like this. I'm going to cut the threads of these screws a little bit shorter, and then they're going to have nuts on the end of them. Alright guys, so check out, here's my power button, and here is my dog trying to eat my remote. So power button, what I actually did was I took a 45 caliber bullet, basically cut the firing pin part off, and then crimped it around the edges of a 38 special bullet, and then there's a spring inside there with just a standard computer power button. I'll let you guys hear it. And I already tested for continuity and everything. It does complete the circuit, so it is a working power button. I'm kind of thinking about maybe making some more of these. I don't know if other people have use for them, but they sure do look pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this hole right here, which is kind of hard to see right now because I don't have my light on, but there is a hole right here, and the power button is going to go right in that hole, and then I'm going to more than likely hot glue it to the edge of this so it doesn't move. Okay guys, so now as you can see, power button's mounted. I'm going to put a little bit more hot glue on the other side. That's all I used, was just hot glue to mount it. And then I also did mount the SSD, just one screw on the side here, but then it's up against this lip right here so it can't become uneven or anything like that. Okay, so this is close to being the completed product. It still needs a little more cable management, but you can see we got the graphics card, motherboard, we got the SSD, we got the power supply, power button, we have the fan in the back. I actually put a little, I guess you call it fan shroud or cover. It's just one of the, you can buy these in like 5 packs, and then I just cut it down to be 90mm. And yeah, pretty much everything's there, and the motherboard is screwed in, and APU's in, RAM's already in. So now we're just gonna go ahead and test it real quick, make sure it turns on, and then I'm gonna work on getting the lid to fit back on all this. So the ammo crate PC is officially done now. So as you can see, I had to make some minor modifications, such as the front here. I had to cut one of these arms off because it would not latch over the power button I did. And then obviously I added the actual I/O, which would have gone in the back of a PC case, into here. That took forever cutting with the Dremel because there's 2 layers of really thick steel. And then this one, since it wasn't high enough from the graphics card, I basically just cut the hole out of the metal and called it a day there. But the handle works and everything. You can actually carry it around. And then let's go ahead and pop this open, and that's fully functional too, of course. So once it's opened, we can see all the internals. They're actually all pretty easy to get to. It's really not too cramped for what it is. Like I said, it's not much bigger than the size of my hand. And I got the Molex fan there with the actual cover on the back here. And power supply, the SSD is mounted right up here, nice and out of the way. All the cables are pretty well cable managed, as best as I could get them inside this tiny case. So let's go ahead and turn it on. So it's actually fairly quiet. I don't know if it sounds loud or quiet to you guys, but it's pretty quiet besides this Molex fan, because of course this runs at full speed all the time. I'll probably fix that eventually. I really should have added LEDs into it, honestly. It would have looked a lot cooler with like some green LEDs flashing out of it, but that's always stuff I can add. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, there's going to be an actual test of see how this is gaming, or how this games, because there's a 750 Ti in here, plus that 5370, I think it was, or 5380. I don't even remember anymore. It's that AM1, the best AM1 processor you can get. So we're gonna put this to the test and see just how well it plays video games and whatnot. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you guys later.